Well, hey there, and welcome to the CPI show number 2. We are back for this month's installment. Going to mix things up a little bit, run a slight experiment on the format, and we want your feedback as always on what you want to see and how we can best provide value for you. And of course, today, I'm just going to do it. I am going to bring on the one and only Olek into the stream today. What is up, Olek? How are you doing?
Hello guys. I'm doing pretty good actually. Thanks, Kevin, for inviting. Can't believe that it's been already 1 month, but excited to be here again.
Yeah, it's gone quick, isn't it? So we're going to mix things up today, just in case no one has seen our previous stream and don't know you. Just remind us a little bit of what you do here at Homa.
So I'm working in the publishing team, and it's been 3 years, I guess. And so since 3 years, terms like CPI, watching the videos, trying to improve the marketability of them, and speaking with the studios, so in order to implement these feedbacks, it's what I do daily. So very excited again to share it with you guys.
Cool. So last time we what did we do? We kind of focused in on Fight for America,
Yeah.
which was obviously doing really well and still crushing at the tops pretty much at the moment, which is great to see. We put out, I put out a couple of messages a couple of days ago for people to submit their own videos to us, and the response has been great.
Mhm.
So if you submitted a video, thank you so much. We have chosen just 7 today. So if you don't see your video that you've already submitted, don't worry, we will queue that up. But I wanted to cap it at 7, which will give us about maybe 5 minutes per video, not to make this super long, but we will see how it goes. So if you haven't done already, do hit the like button on the video if you want to see more of this. If you like this format throughout and you're getting value from it, do hit the like button, and that lets us know from your feedback whether you want to see some more of what we're doing here. So first, let's just go ahead and get going today. And we have, like I said, 7 videos lined up. And
Mhm.
at any point, if you've got any questions for us, do indeed put it in that chat box. Say hello, tell us where you're from, all that kind of stuff. This is a conversation stream for you, and we want to hear your feedback, and we want you to ask questions and get you unstuck if you are stuck at all. All right, so Olek, we have video 1 here, which I'm just about to press play.
I
And
already like
it's
the water shader. Actually, it's quite nice, quite
Yeah,
pleasant
it
to watch.
looks really good, doesn't it? So this is from, I'm going to butcher these names, so apologies in advance, but this is Vitalina Hlenka, and the game is called Running Dudes. The tests on Android. Wow, okay. So they did a first test of $4 on Android, which is super high. But the second test came in at $1.35. So
Mhm.
I've turned the volume off on these, so feel free to talk whenever you want to, Olek, because and I'll keep looping it until we see how we go. So here we go. This is $1.35. This one. So a typical runner by the looks of things.
Okay.
And just before, I'm just going to say this before we begin. Olek has not seen any of these videos. He doesn't know any of the games, and I just pressed the button by mistake. Sorry about that. It doesn't know the game, so it's going to be quite an interesting take here because this is the first gut reactions for these videos. All right, sorry.
I mean, can I start? I'm
Of course,
gonna
yeah. Please, just
directly,
go
even
ahead.
though I said that, I said that the watershed is nice, but then there is everything is blue on the screen. You see the characters which are itself blue, and the gates choice which are blue, and it's actually, I would say, big mistake because. I would call it an evolution runner, even though it's not a classic evolution, but it's an evolution runner. And usually you would want a clear negative and positive choice, green and red. And eventually the best scenario that works in evolution runners is wrong choices, when you start with a big guy. Maybe at the first you will show 1 or 2 positive choices, like even take Tallman Run. First 2 gates is positive, he becomes big and fat, and then until the rest of the run he only chooses negative things, and he dies right in front of the enemy. And this is done because people get excited and hooked on the mechanic when the player does first 2 positive choices and then all negative, and trying to create that frustration, be like, wow, I can do much better with him, the guy playing is not that smart, and to create the desire of people to play. So this video doesn't follow it. And actually, in not evolution runners, it's also common to have a fail at the beginning, like you do in your videos, in your video. But I don't see why do you let them, you spend here like 3 seconds of time, 4, 5, just waiting until they get up and keep running. Usually, just have a cut. Or I mean, yeah, it's better to have a cut here because you just spend 5 seconds of user attention, just give like letting them see how the big guys, the sequence, sorry, fall and then wake up slowly.
Yeah, I think
Nothing too innovative in this,
that's
so
a
don't.
really good point. Sorry to talk over you there, but I'm going to start this again. And what we can do here, if I can get my brain in gear, let's have a look, because I'm going to put a stopwatch on the screen here, and I think that's a really good point because we'll cover the different color gates and the blueness of everything. But let's check out, because we always talk about how important it is that first 3 to 5 seconds. Let's see if I can get this right here. So I've got about all fingers and thumbs here. One sec. Let's do this. So here we go. So you're right. There's a good 3 or 4 seconds there, isn't there, where we can see the people just die straight away. In terms, they fall over and do nothing, which I think is, like you said, a little bit of a waste on that. And I'm just going to run this back a little
Exactly.
bit, if you can, here. So I'm gonna let's just see if I can pause it. Oh my goodness.
The evolution is not visible also. But
Yeah, so we just paused it here. So the barrel's really nice contrast here against the blue, the browny thing. That's really kind of nice. But you're right. We've got the range and the damage and the penetrate as different gates choices here. You should definitely change the colors of these, even though there's not a particular positive or negative, like you said. And you've got blue gates, blue runners, blue sea, and I think choosing
yeah,
different
it's
colored
it's going
gates
to
would
be a
be.
problem even for gameplay, not only for videos, because you have 2 gates which are equally equal, and it's very hard to read what's written actually on them. So it has to be in hypercasual either color coded or like very visually explained. And
Yeah,
if I say
exactly. And I
even in the
think,
build, then on the videos,
yeah, exactly. Sorry,
even
we're gonna we always talk over each other. Sorry about that. But yeah, I think you're right, and I think it's good to mention that even for the gameplay itself, you want your players to get associated with what color does
Mhm.
what. So it just makes it super easy to understand. So the penetrate is a red one, and I like those ones, or avoid it, or whatever. So I think that's really important. I actually really like this last bit here with the. I think it's quite juicy. The blowing up, like this sort of
Yeah,
section
the
here.
final battle is nice, and the
Yeah,
crowd. I think Black kinda looks from coming from Zombie Defense as a reference, but it's nothing to say against it. Yeah.
yeah. So I
And
think
well
that's what.
related to the gameplay.
What now? Obviously, when we're looking at these sort of different tweaks here, and it's really hard to say, obviously, but in your experience, what sort of, how much can these sort of changes like move the needle in terms of the CPI? Because obviously this one was at 135.
Hmm.
I know it's an impossible question, but I thought I'm going to ask it anyway. Could we knock?
No, no, no. I think we can get down to maybe 80, but it's gonna be hard to get lower it because it looks like crowd evolution. Yeah, when when you say it from Olek, the game was heavily scaled, and we can cut it down because it's a very hyper casual concept, and with the right sequence of actions and the right colors, I think we can down to 80, which is, I would say, the average of what we are seeing on this type of evolution runners. And also it's a runner which assumes lower CPI, but getting below is not going to be possible, I think, due to crowd evolution and the existence of some other games which look kind of similar.
Got it. So I think so wrapping up on this one, because I'm really I really think we should have some recommendations at the end here. What would we do for the video, knowing what we know now of the gameplay? What would you think would be the easy thing? I like this partner one because obviously the partner one is the multiply thing. I think you could probably have an extra one of those in so you can see that you can multiply up quite a lot. When you go through the gates, there's no visible change either for me. So we go through the gates. If we start at the beginning here, oops.
I think they have they get these yellow things on their legs, but yeah,
Do
it's
they? Let's
difficult
have a
to.
look. Oh yeah, they get the
Yeah.
backpack.
Okay.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, that's my bad. Okay. So let's I'm gonna shut up. What would be your top tips here for this one then?
So I would say follow 3 seconds rule, color code correctly, and I would also try to focus a bit more on the end level battle because it's more innovative. So I would start with 6 or 7 seconds of a runner, positive, negative choices with more contrast evolution, and then go on a runner, on the end level, hide behind the blocks you have on the level to show this has a bit more depth than just runner.
Perfect. Yeah, and like I said, if you got any questions or comments, do let us know. Teodoro Brooks says Supersonic said to show more fail than success in the video, and we literally touched on that. The very first thing we said about the win-lose states. So yeah, it's always worth trying that. I think for this one, you do sort of start off with the falling
That's
over,
done
which I
right.
think.
That you fall over maybe second fall, but then you waste time. So then it's not even shown as a fail. It's a normal way of playing. So
Yeah, because normally you'd get the fail come up and you'd restart the level. So it's whilst it falls over, it's kind of a little bit in the middle. You want to go all out on fail, or sort of. I don't think wasting 4 seconds of waiting for the people to get up is a waste of of the video for me. No worries, Teodoro, not a problem. All right, let's go on to the next one. And that was Vitalana. Oh, what is up? Good to see you here. Thank you for the feedback. You are welcome. All right, so remember, anytime you want to send us some videos, there's a big button on the dashboard of the Academy. Get yourself in there. Just want to mention as well, you can upload these anonymously. So I'll put a tick box in there. If you don't want us to say your name and you want to go low-key under the radar, you can still send in the videos and we'll still cover them on these shows. So get your head on over to the Academy and upload your videos for the next show. So let us go to video 2. And I'm just going to pause it real quick. So let me just turn my phone off. Okay, so this is from Anonymous as well. This one is called Idle Destruction 3D, and it's a basic idle clicker game. You add more balls, increase the ball size and speed, and boost income to destroy voxels. Earn more money through converting each cube. In this video, the anonymous person tried to show the cool, satisfying effects of the bricks breaking and rewarding user with money in return. Okay, this video had 67 cents. So let's play.
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand why he put +$1 for gameplay, so it makes sense, and visually it makes sense that you're earning money. But for the CPI video, you only see this green one UA popping up, which is I mean, you don't even fully understand the concept that something is breaking because everything is covered in like in a ocean of green letters and green colors coming up out of the bubble. It's already big problem.
Yeah, the
And then
first thing.
it's
Go on.
sorry. Okay, and then it's missing the feedback from what's happening after you break the bricks. I think it's done well in Bucket Crusher from Voodoo, where you have the kind of a machine shredding the blocks from behind and then converting them into money. Here it's not clear because I assume they also fall down and then they turn into coins, but it's not at all. It's not at all clear that the coins looks like that they're permanently. So I wouldn't say that it's missing action feedback loop.
Yeah, completely agree. So the other thing, so yeah, the coins I don't think are so successful. They need to be like busting out and flying out or something to, because they just feel like they're wobbling, and it's actually kind of
Mhm.
weird, in my opinion. You don't really get that they're coins. And the other thing, the blatant thing for me was there's no feedback on any of these buttons upgrading, so they should be depressing or getting bigger or smaller,
Oh,
or even a
I
fingerprint or
don't even
something.
notice. I didn't even notice them. Yeah, yeah. Usually there is no fingers on best creatives of idle clickers, but
Sure.
here you don't even see that they are being pressed because usually you have a, like like kind of glowing or pop fade in, fade out, fade back, small one. And when you click on it here, yeah, nothing. I didn't even notice that. I'm not sure. Maybe he's not clicking on them. Maybe in the other videos he's clicking on them. Not
Yeah, I
sure,
mean, I
but yeah.
don't know. You're right. I shouldn't have said about the finger, because you don't really want to fudge the gameplay like that. It was more to do with the fact that you just don't notice the buttons are pointless being there because they're not. Um, y- I think with the if they were depressed in and or some sort of pulse around them to impress that there was an action happening there, you probably understand the gameplay a little bit more. Because I think the build quality looks really nice, and I think it's kind of mental. But yeah, I think
Mhm.
it's let itself down a little bit here because I like the idea of the snow globe personally. I think it's kind of a neat idea, but um, honestly, it's a little bit boring because you don't really know how to play it. Um, so I think it's really
Yeah,
important to make.
SMR clickers, I would say they can be boring. If they can look boring, if they look satisfying, if they look SMR, something you would watch before going to bed. The same thing concept. Maybe I would play that before going to bed. But here, yeah, it's not the case. Not SMR enough, and then it becomes boring if it's not
Yeah,
SMR enough.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean boring. I mean in in the nicest possible way.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm sure everybody knows we're here to, and they'll take the feedback in the spirit that it's intended. What I meant was it's just uninteresting, I guess, was a nicer way of putting it. The saying in the Teodoro, I'm really struggling with your name. Teodoro said, "Yeah, if I hadn't have read the description, they wouldn't have known how to play it, or didn't know the concept of the gameplay." And I think that's always really important to understand. Is it clear enough? Do you know what you're actually doing? Because I think it looks pretty enough. Like we said, it's just it's without the
Mhm.
buttons being pressed, it's very difficult to sort of know exactly what the
Just
game's all about.
Just a small technical feedback, but usually for studios that are working with us, we recommend to not put this blurred line on the sides of the video because, I mean, you took the space, you took maybe 10-15% of your screen just for blurred lines, right? You could have made the scene bigger, you could have made the globe bigger, and then people would see better what's happening. And here you took maybe 20%, 15%, I don't know, of your screen just for blurred lines. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
it
that's
should be
great. That's
for
that's
X5.
great feedback. Sorry, Alec, carry on.
Yeah, it should be for X5 as a Facebook format,
Yeah, so
and you
what's
have the
what
right one.
essentially
But
what they've done is they've
Mhm.
taken the iPhone game, and to make it the iPad side, they've just blurred out the back. They've overlaid it. It's a trick to blur the background out because if you look, I can't do it on the screen, but you can see the lines of the iPhone version. So just if you're doing the iPad version or the resolution that you need, just spend that little extra bit of time to fill the video screen. There's like you said, it's great technical feedback, but just take the time to do it. I mean, I guess we should ask what is up, Roman. Good to see you. What is up, Stefan, in the chat? What is up, 8 Happy Pixels? John, Andrea Conti, Gaming, Lita, Mickey, Jilly, what is up, everybody? Good to see you all here. Do let us know your comments or what you would change for these videos as well. I think overall, I think the coins are the biggest mistake for me. I think they should be, if they were flying out, I think it would make a big difference.
But I think I'm not sure because I feel like this +$1 and the coins, these are different things. And now I understand. I think the coins at the bottom, this is your currency on the top right of the screen, which is Ajin, and then +1. I'm not sure what is that. Like I mean, there are like kind of two currencies. I
Right.
think by
Yeah, I think you're
default,
right.
but
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. But that's the
so it's
problem. If we both don't really know, or I've got it wrong, or Olek's got it wrong, and if we're a bit confused, then it might be worth trying to get, giving it another go with a little bit more clarity on it. I also think, honestly, I don't think I would have chosen a plane. I think that's kind of a random object to do on this one. I would love to know if any other objects you tried did had a, I don't know, maybe a bit more, not necessarily memey, not necessarily the avocado that we always see, but it's like something a little bit more obvious to what
yeah,
it is.
you can even try something which is more related to globe. I wouldn't say snow because it's gonna be too white, but I mean, I think you can just go Google globe and see what do they put, because that's what people would refer to the most. What can be put inside the globe? Maybe they put like New York City landscape, stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know.
maybe. What do you think about having, like, starting this off with it busting open and then having the wind state here straight away, and then going into a fresh one? So you'd see a load of these balls flying around and busting it up. Then you'd have
Hmm.
the, da-da, you won confetti, and then going into the next one. Do you think that would have been worth a go?
Yeah, yeah, you can try it. It's interesting. You show it first. What's the maximum progression you can reach, and then you restart. You show the next level, and players get excited because they already know what the goal, like what they want to reach, and if it's exciting enough for them to reach that goal, and then they would be like, okay, and now I will start myself and reach that state that was shown at the beginning of the ad. It's not very very common to have the best ads with this type of gameplay scenario, but it can work. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So I've just seen a question come in, but I can't. Oh, my thing didn't go. Okay. So James, what is up, James? I agree. The $1 removes a lot of the pleasure from seeing the destruction. Also, don't tell them how much they make in real time, and make an end of session surprise with options to upgrade to make more dollars. Yeah, I think that's a good point there. So the I kind of see where you're coming. I'm a little bit torn about. I think the dollars flying up has benefit, but it does kind of detract for a little bit. But overall, so what's we're gonna have to come up with some fancy name. What's Olek's top tip for this one?
Bring more clarity.
Bring more clarity. All right, cool. All right. So that was Idle Destruction 3D. So thank you, Anonymous, for that. Hayish, thank you very much. Maybe merging to increase the size of the ball would help in a situation like this. Yeah, maybe. I think we'd address we'd address the other points first. But yeah, absolutely. So keep your suggestions coming. Let's go on to video number 3, and this is from Anonymous, and this is unboxing run, and had a CPI of 0.84 cents. And I'll just mention, by the way, these are all CPI US Android.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Let's play it again.
The render part was way too fast, way too short. I mean, there are creatives that work. Yeah, you see, you have 2 seconds of render, and I think it's even speeded up. It's super fast. I don't think anybody can play with this speed like that.
So basically, a
But I
super.
mean,
Go on.
There are games that put the preview of kind of items you can get. I would say even My Little Universe. Well, it's a hybrid game with high CPI, but one of the creatives is the kind of gallery of planets you can unlock. So it's not too bad to show the kind of gallery of guns you can get into the game. You can unlock in the game if you play, but I wouldn't take so much of video space on it because you do it 2 times at the beginning and then at the end for 10 more seconds, literally. And I think you can start one of the videos with this kind of gallery, but then make the runner part a bit like longer, way longer, because that's your main gameplay. And I don't like too much the toy, because the toy is the box. Uh, it has benefits for the gameplay because it's kind of surprised. Okay, what's gonna be in the box? What's not gonna be? So people, they want to play until the level ends to see what's inside the box. But for CPI videos, it's usually better to show somehow the gun directly. That's what we had in Shoes Evolution, actually. If you check Shoes Evolution, which was 7 cents on TikTok, like 1 year ago, but still, we had the shoes on top of the box. So you had the box like that, and then you had shoes on top of it. And maybe that's something you can try, that put the gun on top of the box, kind of like that. Sorry. And then go through run gates, because as you said, you should start with like the best gun, and then the whole runner go through run gates. So you go with ideal video would be, you can start with a gallery like that. You do one videos gallery with gallery, one without gallery, and then second one with the runner, which properly takes time. At least 15. I would actually say until the end of the video, you play just runner. You start with the best gun, and you choose run gates, and you downgrade to the worst gun, and you lose.
Yeah, I think you're right. Basically, we not won't disagree, of course, but I think you're right. There's very little gameplay here, and it kind of, as soon as it gets going, you're back into the selection again, and the choosing of stuff here is really nice. The loot box idea is kind of funky.
I mean, maybe they try to catch the audience of kind of CS:GO, Counter Strike, because that's kind of how the cases are getting open in Counter Strike.
Sure.
But it's too much, showing 5 seconds of runner and 25 just of gallery, I would say.
Yeah,
But
so I think there's a bit of a missed opportunity there, and I think it probably, for me, I wouldn't start off with this. I'd start off here and then go straight into it, I think, and have I don't know, if the gameplay was a little bit longer, I think I would have been good to try the selection inside the loot box first, because that's kind of the hook of the game. But for me, the
the video
runner
where you
side of
showed,
things is super short.
I think
Um,
I think there is a content of the creator. Yeah, I think the also the problem that you have is the toy is not funny. I mean, you play the box, and you should find something better, like a gun
so what would you
itself, or,
do? What would you,
or a
so
small
instead of the
stickman with a
box,
huge gun. You
do
can
a
do a very
huge
small
gun?
stickman
Yeah,
with a huge gun.
yeah. And I guess that way you could carry that forward to the next level, and then it'd be more exciting for when you're opening the loot box to see which one you change, because you'd be changing your character. Um, Vitilana Hulenka, the video where we showed more of the gameplay,
Yeah, that's
but
what I
they
would say
had
too.
higher CPI. Oh, okay. Oh, so that was oh, what is that, Vitilana? Good for that. Right. Okay. So you showed more of the gameplay, and that increased the CPI. Um, What do you make of that then? So,
Me? I mean, yeah. Well, as I said, I think you can do a gameplay with better toy, do mainly
yeah,
that, and a better scenario. And
okay,
cases, as I said, it can work. Actually, I would totally, if I had a game like that, I would say try both variants. Yeah, with
there we go.
the gameplay and with the case opening, because it's an interesting hack. Honestly, like I used to play Counter Strike, and I'm like, oh, like what's gonna be in my box? Is it something super ultra rare? I'm not sure if they have it here. If they have some kind of rarity, like chance of loot. Well, let me see. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, it'd be cool if you got like a
No,
legendary or something,
nothing
wouldn't it?
doesn't look. Nothing looks golden or like diamond. So yeah, even the knife is like should be the most expensive, but yeah.
Yeah, Cool. All right. Nice. So yeah, plenty to go off there. I think that's a really great. I love the idea of the legendary or the super rare or whatever in the gold one. That would be that kind of be nice to chuck on the video. So you always it gives the impression that there are rare things to collect because everyone likes to do that. Let's just catch up with the chat real quick. Maybe they want you to show the process of opening cases, not the gameplay. That's a good observation, Danny Lowe. And if the gameplay had high CPI, then the gameplay is not interesting enough, says Teodoro. Well,
No,
okay.
not specifically. I mean, you're right. Can be the reason, but we've seen since when we put the game to pre-publishing, we start to test many videos like recorded from the gameplay with different colors, with different textures of the objects and stuff like that, and the difference sometimes is huge. You can have a video at $1 and the video at 60 cents with just because of the scenario and the colors easily.
Wow. So there you go. So yeah, we can move the CPI. It's not impossible. You just need to find that perfect combo. All right, let's move on to number 4. I'm glad I didn't choose any more today because it's tiny. All right, hold on a second. So I'll just write.
Yeah.
We'll go from there in a sec. So this is from Siddhan Patel. It's called Horn and Run, and it had a CPI of the same, 84 cents. So it's a little bit small. Don't know if I can do it like that. Let's just play it. So I'm just going to say, probably might be better with a bit of sound here, but I'm not going to do it because we always get copyright strikes. So
Mhm. It looks it's so messy. I mean, it looks the idea is take like 10 best hypercasual runners of past year and putting them into one game, right?
mix them all together,
Like
yeah. Okay,
it's an
so
interesting
let's start
strategy,
this one
but
again.
like see you have a you're hitting enemies, not
Let's
the enemies but pedestrians, and they
slap
start
run.
follow you like in slap and run. Then you have the head becoming bigger like tallman run. Then you have this is like from kayak game where you slide if you have enough you break in the wall. So it's a really a lot of elements in inside the runner, like very messy. But I mean you should choose what's your main gameplay. So what's your main gameplay? Is it changing the size of the head, or is it like trying to slap people? They follow you. Maximum two of them, and then focus your video on this because here you way too many things. And the same is just because it's because I'm publishing manager and I know the game which is called Slap and Run. But if you look at the video, I've never seen this game or even seen playing it, you wouldn't understand why they follow you. Are you hitting them? What's happening after? Because you slap around, you have a direct feedback, you have angry images, and the concept itself makes sense because it has like a big hand. So the only goal is to slap people. And here it's not clear, yeah, why are they starting following you, and they're also the same color as the character, which is kind of a shame.
Yeah, I think overall it's so busy. It's there's too much going on for your brain. Like there's so many concepts, so many sort of not mechanics as such, but just different elements in it that you really can't understand exactly what the point of this is. And I think obviously you mentioned Slap and Run, which is a super fun game with great controls that game.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's kind of you really understand the concept of that and it looks fun. Whereas this one, we've got, I mean, there's even a little bit of roof rails in there. I'm not really sure what does that make you bigger or smaller? It's kind of weird. And we got some random gorilla here as well, which I think is one for luck, if why not. Um, so yeah, 84 cents this one. And Magna, oh, Mangonetic, Jesus. Mangonetic says he loves the random gorilla, which I think is kind of
I
funny.
didn't notice actually. Did you notice?
Yeah, right at the
Where
end.
is it?
So,
Okay.
he's got a number on the back of his head as well. So I'm not sure why we
Ah,
went down.
because they
Yeah, there's
were,
just
I don't know. It's not clear.
So I think this one, you need to really focus in on what is your hook of the game. What's the core of the game? There's so much going on. I'm not even sure if you're meant to go higher or lower on the numbers. What's better? I guess higher would be better. I honestly don't know at this point. Um, so yeah, I think this one especially, and I appreciate it, Saddam, for sending it in. And like I said, take it in the spirit that this is intended.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's really trying. The overall feeling for this one is just too much going on, and it's actually quite, for me
You could try
personally.
fails here, yeah, as on the first video that we watched. Here, fails also makes more than perfect sense because that would help us with Kevin understand the gameplay. Here
Yeah,
we don't understand the gameplay. If you should have fails, we'd be like, okay, so this is the negative action. Okay, you get punished. Okay, makes sense. And without it, with CC, we're not fully sure.
yeah, exactly. And 8 Happy Pixel says it's too messy, too chaotic to comprehend. And I think that's a nice way of putting it. So always remember that you're just focusing on that one core thing if you can. But yeah, it's I think Olek's first reaction of saying that you've taken every hyper casual game in the last 6 months to put it all in one. I think that kind of sums it up. But pretty good. The quality of the build looks good though, so don't be disheartened. But just rein it back in again and trying to be a little bit more focused in on that one thing. Let's read this before we move on. Imrem says, I guess the number behind represents the size of its head when it's small. It can't slide through the pipes. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, there is red and green, so I'm guessing that the red goes up here. The green goes up, I'm really sorry, and the red reduces it. And I'm wondering, I really want to turn the sound on because I'm wondering if that has a bigger impact. But even without the sound, you should really be able to understand it. All right, blimey! I thought we were going to burn through these really quick. Let's go. We've got three more. So let's go on to this. Oops. Uh, Onto this one. I'm just going to pause it. Well, I'll just let it play. So this is from Andre Manutin. What is up, Andre? Frontline Truck is the name of the game. It's idle arcade with production chains about a military truck. In the game, the player harvests resources, builds, produces, loads artillery, buy ammo for win the battle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have, just before you have your first say, we have a first Android CPI test of 43 cents and then a second onto 61. But 43.61 this one.
Yeah, it's kind of a good quality. And I mean, what we are seeing right now, it's an observation, and it's not always correct. But the realistic design is working well with the games that are done military thematic and on everything related to combat fighting by using Voodoo Publishing 304, including infantry attack and stuff like that. And we are seeing that in our tests as well. That realistic design blends better than better with this kind of theme and gets much lower CPI. I can tell you it can decrease by 3 times, and you could try it here as well. That's the idea, which is completely different, but I would recommend to try. And then further, it's maybe a bit too messy at the beginning, but it also can be a good thing because that's what war represents, you know. And I would say to make everything super logical that makes sense during the war. You know, the planes crashing, maybe some soldiers falling, jumping from the car or jumping from the airstrikes, stuff like that. Because it's, I mean, if you decided to do a game on military thematic, firstly you should know that you will capture majority of men, up to 90%, and then secondly is make it realistic, realistic not only in terms of art style but in terms of what happens during the war. And I guess there are many. I mean, you know it by yourself, from books, from everywhere, you know, and you can imagine what would happen. So here would be nice to crush the stickmans when you run on them, stuff like that, you know. Maybe you should see the military, the enemy directly. Maybe you can start with the intro of an enemy, and then camera moves back, so you can complete representation of gameplay. But it's nice.
Yeah, I
It's,
think
can be improved. Yeah, I don't think you should drop it if you had 40 cents. If it's
yeah,
recent test.
exactly. I was just about to say, I think there's, I definitely try and, well, obviously we don't know how long ago this was tested, but it's really unusual. And I know it's kind of unrelated, but I really like the fact that you've got like this arcade idle, but you're a car and you're moving around really fast. Because one of the things about arcade idle, you're constantly running at a really slow speed, which is kind
Ah,
of
you know what
nice.
else you can do? You can add the actually not the joystick you have, but the the steering wheel. Look at the Air Drive
Oh
3D.
yeah,
Oh, sorry, Car Drive 3D from Coda, old game, and
yeah, yeah,
usually it works super well if you put the steering wheel and then you put a finger which controls it, and here you need a finger. Yeah, usually people like it reduce CPI a lot. I think just this can reduce it by 5-6 cents. Yeah.
yeah. That's a really cool one. Yeah, we actually released 3 or 4 parking type games with the steering wheel on, and I think that also adds a little bit of freshness to the controls as well. I think this jump's really smart. I like the fact that you're picking up. I think it's really clear. This has got a lot going for it. This one. What do we think about colors and stuff like that? Do you reckon the colors are okay?
More or less, yeah. I mean, the just the troops and not. I think I just understood when I started speaking blue because it's blue versus red normally, but here it doesn't make too much sense that they're blue. I don't know. Maybe we can trade them the same color of the track or something, which a bit makes more sense. Here, the car itself is nice. The mines are well contrasted, well understood, but also it adds something. But here I don't understand if your position of your troops is in front of you, but why do you have mines behind? It's kind of the logical sense. Like usually you shouldn't be mined because that's the way your troops is going to retract, right? So it doesn't make sense that the area is mined behind them. And also it's a small
Right.
it's a small feedback. Maybe I don't think it will have any impact on CPI, but for to be consistent with the realism,
Yeah, no,
you could yeah, you
it's a
could
fair
hope for
point as well, and it's all these little things. And what's great, and we can see, you start look when this is where your experience comes in because you're picking up these things, and it's amazing. It's yeah, I really like the idea of this one. I think it's a bit crazy. I just want to read. There's a couple of things that came in. The truck is under adrenaline, and the first 5 seconds are messy. I think what confused me is the fact that when we drop the people off we lose the back of our truck. So I think it would have made sense at the start that it looks like we're trying to avoid the blue ones. So I would imagine we
oh
can pick
yeah.
these up at this point. I'm not sure quite. That's a little bit
Actually,
confusing.
yeah, you can remove the tent. Maybe it might
Right.
look a bit less as a military guy, but it would be fun if you had stickmen sitting, and you would have you will relate even more. Okay, no, I don't want them to die, and you're driving crazy under the airstrikes of enemies, and you would
Yeah.
the gameplay would provoke even more emotions rather than a simple track. You don't
Yeah.
feel that too much attached to a simple track.
Yeah. That's been
Could be.
one of really my only feedback there because it disappears once we drop them all off. So I'd either collect them all up, or lose the. It'd be really cool if they were like, yeah, what was it like?
I agree.
Maybe you just stop and then you like get the commute game where they all like pile in a little bit. That could be quite interesting. Teodoro Brooks says, "Do you think that $5 CPI for on US Android with good gameplay is enough for 30 paid installs? My games are paid." With the budget, well, I'm gonna have to read this again. With a budget of a
I
thousand
understood. I
dollars.
understood.
Oh, okay. You can
He's
see the
asking about
question.
premium games, yeah, about the games that users have to buy. It depends. It depends how you define a good gameplay, and you need a complete you need the different campaign optimization. Actually, I think it might be not enough. 2K for depends on the price of your game. Also, I mean, if you tell me it's
Well,
50
yeah,
cents, maybe if it's like $20 and you already want to make a 100% margin out of your campaign, probably no. Yeah.
yeah. That's It does.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
can't give super concrete answer, but the question is not very concrete. So it's
Yeah, no, that's a really difficult one to answer, Teodoro. So, um, maybe those are sort of questions for the Discord. And by the way, if you haven't already, come and join us in the Discord, and you can chat about all this sort of stuff throughout the week. And I post all the new games and insights and stuff like that. And of course, you can get more feedback on your games and any questions like that. So come and join us over there, to ask those sort of questions, which is a lot easier to answer with a little bit more time. And obviously, there might be other members in there who are running paid games who might be able to share their experience on that as well. All right, let's go to video number 6. And this is from Anonymous. And this game is called Zombie Game Survival King. And this had a CPI 74 cents.
Hmm. Yeah, that's something. I mean, the idea is interesting that you're surviving running backwards. It looks a bit. I mean, it's not super innovative. There were games like that when you run backwards, but I think for this concept it makes sense because you're escaping from enemies. So and not them, not you chasing them. I mean, my first would be about the monsters. I mean, it's not. I know this type of assets. We used it many times actually, but they don't look like enemies in this context, you know, and they're too small. So I mean, I think usually would try to make something more edgish and more contrast with the environment in that case. I like the, you know, I don't know if it had chances, but we have a game Monster Egg, and one of the key features that allowed us to scale was actually egg running on the legs with hands also, you know, so it involved evolved, and you were running as an egg with legs and hands out of it, so people are like, what's inside the egg? And here I think it might be fun if you made a big egg, and you once you shoot at them, the egg, so the same egg is running after you shoot at him, and once it dies, there is something coming out of it, and you know, people would be curious, okay, what's gonna come out of the egg? But it comes out of the egg only when you kill the egg first, and then you have to kill the enemy as well. So it's an interesting idea for the gameplay, because I see already you have kind of egg cracks on the top of your hand, so you can make it much more better, and the enemy contrast also, yeah, and even your contrast of your character blends a bit too much with the environment here.
Yeah, that was going to be my first observation. It's all very orangey browny, and it's kind of hard if you squint your eyes to see the actual main character here. Um, your Lara Croft esque type character. I mean, the quality of the build looks good, and as Olek said, we know the assets, and it's kind of got that mix of like almost half cute but real at the same time. It's a little bit of an odd mix for me, but I'd like to see um, a little bit more contrast um, in her outfit. I love your idea, Olek, of the big egg um, coming and these sort of things
Like
spawning out of it or
what we
something,
have
and it gives you the
what
surprise.
we have in Fight for America is some enemies that pops out of the bigger enemy once you kill it. And actually, I think it's come out from Ball Blast from Voodoo. You remember the Canon game where you would shoot in at the ball,
Yeah,
and they
very
would
much so.
split into two, then
Yeah,
four.
yeah.
And that's the interesting thing that I like, you know, the kind of surprise and the unexpected effect. And here it's, you know, imagine maybe even you can make a fail video like that, not too scary, but once the egg explodes, they run onto you super nice, super fast, and kill you. You know, like 1,000 spiders.
Yeah. Oh my
I mean,
goodness. Oh, that sounds. Yeah, but
mission
that's the
to kill
thing
the
though.
city
That
egg
gets your
government.
attention. You imagine all of those little
Yeah.
things. Oh my goodness, it's giving me the willies. That. All right. So what? 8 Happy Pixel says it's just a nice coating on an old formula. Power up drops, or upgrades to make it more flashy. Maybe even a base to protect. The zombies could look more zombie-ish. Okay. I mean, I think that's relatively fair. I think the build
No, it's like
quality is good.
very classic way, very classic game. But if you take feedbacks of Hyperpixel, so you will make a very classic zombie game. If you have a strong meta, why not? But if you need the lower CPI, something a bit. I mean, you will always want to get lower CPI. Then you should go with something a bit innovative, like for instance the idea we just discussed. Because if you do just a base to protect and green zombies running a bit, there is zombie defense, right? And there is
Yeah.
base defense from early. There are many like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It's like, what can you add to this sort of genre or style that is a little bit different? And I think that's super important because it all looks pretty nice. Um, but it's, and I hate to say it like this, but we've seen it all before. And that's what the comment from 8 Happy Pixel said. We have seen this before. What are you doing that's unique? And what's your twist on this sort of game? And I think if you add those sort of twisted element in it, like Alex said, with the things busting out. You kill one and the other things spawn out for it, or what's that thing that sets this one apart from the other titles that have been released before? All right. Wow, this is 7. I smashed it. 7 it is. Right, the last one to get us in. This is from Ayush Agarwal, and this is Push Evolution. And this video achieved a $1.68.
Yeah, so I mean, we see the reference, right? Is the Voodoo game, the platformer from OHM, I think. But here it's not providing the same feeling that the other game the game does. I see they're trying to do the same with many enemies, but it's not giving the same feeling as the other one where you feel like you're smart and also you feel the effort of pushing, because here it's a bit fast and you're just throwing them in front of you without that kind of any effort. And also I would say scenario again, and the camera, which becomes view like here it's already too fast, too far with the camera, too fast the video, and yeah, nothing again, nothing too catchy. I mean, compared to what we saw. So I would also focus on scenario as well, going from a biggest car to devolving to this guy with just a stick.
Yeah, I think, and Ayush Ayush, what is up? Yeah, it's Push 'Em All by Voodoo. Um, Obviously, there's a big sort of nod to that game. Um, I think that for me, I think you're right, Olek, regarding the speed, the sort of, it doesn't seem to have that satisfaction of it all. I think it's a little bit too zoomed in for me as well. You don't really get to enjoy the fact that you're pushing them off as much. I think this boss is pretty gruesome. I kind of like that, but um, I don't know. I'm not sure what I think of this. It feels like you tried to pack a lot in on this video as well, because we're changing the vehicles and it's like it's kind of a lot going on for me. Um, and the upgrades, even though they kind of get bigger, it doesn't feel like you're getting more powerful particularly. Um, but I don't know. That's just
Mhm.
my 2 cents. What does Imran says in this video? The gates opening could have been like a surprising reveal rather than push through the fences. Okay, that's not a bad shout. All right. So, what would you do, Olek, with this one? What's the next? What's the killer tip here?
I think it would be to make the evolution even more significant, and start with the opposite thing. So show it first the biggest car, and keep the rules. Just there are so many evolution games, and you should just keep the rules over the showing other creatives, because here I think the camera becomes too. They're always kind of the same, almost copy paste evolution game, copy paste from one to another, and with the gate color and everything. And here it's not. It's like the camera is too far, the gameplay is too fast, where you don't feel the effort of pushing the crowd from you. and that's pretty much it. It's also, I mean, it's fully focused. If you're fully focused on the mechanic on pushing, then like make it better. But I'm not sure if you should, because the toy looks a bit too much like Voodoo One. Maybe you could come up with something a bit less thin, even though the game is quite old. And the other one, if you want to focus on evolution, then do it like other evolution games.
Okay, that's some great advice there. I think, yeah, I like what I want to focus in on is like if you want to focus in on this pushing thing, then do that really, really nicely. Get that as best as it possibly can because you kind of got a couple to two or three elements in here, and I think I'd lose one of them,
And what
and just
what was the
focus in
CPI
on
in
that.
it, Kevin?
Sorry again. Sorry.
What was the CPI in it? You said at first.
CPI was $1.68 here.
Hmm. Because at first I was thinking maybe we try not a runner, but something like Blob Hero or Survivor.io. So the area, and you collect the stuff to evolve and push the enemies from you. But if it was so high on the runner, then it's not going to be.
Yeah, I
Usually
don't know if
runner,
I
is the
Yeah, I don't know if I'm making this up or I've obviously nicking it from another gameplay, but you could have this like where there's like a big hole in the middle of the screen and you gather them up and you push them down the hole to clear the area up. I'm not sure the runner
hmm
and choice gates works particularly well for me here. There's probably another game that does that where I've taken it and I can't remember it, but I think it'd be way more satisfying if you were scooping them up, pushing them down a hole, rather than sort of
And you could try it normally. I mean, you have all the code, right? And you just do a different scene where it's not runner, but one static scene. Should be, I don't know, less than 1 day of work, but you get the chance to test your hypothesis on videos. So usually just try.
yeah.
We can
Okay,
run the
great.
test. Yeah.
All right. So, look at that. 2 minutes. Smashed it. All right. So, listen. Thank you, everyone, for submitting your games to us for this week. I know it was short notice, but listen, you can see your games next time around and you can just upload them through the Academy dashboard. There's a big button on there. So if you're liking this sort of content, you want to see more of this next time, do hit the like and the subscribe button. That lets us know that you've enjoyed the content here. And of course, if you're getting it on the replay, leave us a comment underneath. Let us know your best sort of game that you like the most today. That would be super helpful. And yeah, we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank Olek for pushing through because he was really sick today. If you hadn't picked up on that, so thank you, Olek, for joining us again, even though you're under the weather today. Come and join us over on the Discord, and you can talk more about all this sort of stuff over there. And of course, if you're already a member of the Academy, upload your games and give us loads to go through next time around. We will select the ones that are, well, I'm not sure how we're going to select them yet, but do send them up to us and we'll do our best to show them on the next show. And it might well be that we double up the show if you are finding this valuable. So, with all that said and done, thank you, Olek, once again. Thanks everybody for watching along and your input today. Like I said, last one, like and subscribe if you want to see more of this. Leave us a comment down below. But we will
See you
see
guys.
you next time around. See you later, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.